What if I told you that the secret to sustaining wildlife and healing the soil isn't a synthetic fertilizer or a fancy conservation grant? It's hidden in plain sight in the form of living, breathing giants. I'm talking about ancient trees that have been shaping ecosystems for centuries, sometimes millennia, creating food webs, stabilizing ground, and weaving entire worlds beneath their canopies. Most people don't realize this, but while we obsess over ornamental landscaping and fast-growing monocultures, there are venerable trees out there acting as keystones in their environments. They feed songbirds and mammals, shelter insects and amphibians, and even regulate the hydrology of the land. Today, we're going to explore 20 of these extraordinary ancients that sustain wildlife and soil. Stick around because number 5 on this list sinks more carbon and holds more soil than most modern plantations combined, and number 19 supports entire ecosystems in the sky. Number 20? It's so ecologically important that more than 2,000 species depend on it for their very survival. So hit that subscribe button, because every week we explore how nature can make your homestead more resilient and self-reliant. Let's get into it. Here are 20 ancient trees that sustain wildlife and soil, ranked from impressive to absolutely incredible. Number 1, sugar maple, the sap-fed sanctuary. Everyone thinks of sugar maple, Acer saccharum, as the source of sweet syrup, but it's also a haven for wildlife and soil. This long-lived hardwood produces winged seeds, buds, and leaves that feed birds, squirrels, and countless small mammals throughout the year. Its broad canopy casts cooling shade over streams and woodland floors, slowing evaporation and nurturing moist microclimates where mosses and ferns thrive. Its deep roots hold soil in place and draw up minerals, and when those golden autumn leaves fall, they decompose into rich humus, stabilizing slopes and storing carbon. In other words, the sugar maple isn't just dessert, it's a cornerstone of eastern forests, providing food, shelter, and soil stability all at once. Maple syrup is just icing on the cake. Number 2, silver birch, the pioneer nurse. Silver birch, Baculopendula, is a short-lived tree with a long-term legacy. Its light, airy canopy allows sunlight to reach the forest floor, encouraging grasses, mosses, anemones, bluebells, and violets to flourish beneath it. More than 300 insect species feed on its leaves and sap, including aphids that in turn feed ladybirds and other predators. Caterpillars of moths like the buff tip and Kentish glory rely on its foliage, while fungi such as the fly agaric and birch polypore partner with its roots to exchange nutrients. Woodpeckers and other cavity nesting birds often raise broods in its trunks, and its tiny winged seeds sustain finches and siskins through winter. As a pioneer species, birch colonizes open ground, draws nutrients up from deep soil, and returns them in annual showers of leaf litter, up to 3 or 4 tons per hectare each year, building fertile soil for the slower trees that follow. Number 3, sweet chestnut, the autumn banquet. Sweet chestnut, Castanea sativa, has been cultivated for millennia, but in the wild, its ecological role is profound. In summer, its long catkins drip with nectar and pollen that feed bees, hoverflies, and other insects. Come autumn, the spiky burrs split open to reveal nutritious nuts that are feasted on by red squirrels, jays, and wild boar. The tree's broad leaves cast heavy shade, slowing understory growth and preserving soil moisture. Those same leaves, rich in tannins and minerals, break down into a deep duff that enriches the soil and encourages a thriving community of fungi and invertebrates. Sweet chestnut's generous yields feed wildlife through the lean months, while its roots anchor hillsides and prevent erosion. Where chestnut groves stand, you'll find a self-sustaining banquet hall for an entire woodland community. Number 4, alder, the riverbank fixer. Alder, Alnus glutinosa, thrives with its feet in the water and its head in the clouds, This nitrogen-fixing tree forms nodules on its roots that partner with bacteria to capture atmospheric nitrogen, enriching the soil and paving the way for other species. Its early catkins provide vital pollen and nectar for bees emerging from winter, and its seeds are a feast for finches like siskins and redpolls. Wet alder woodlands brim with mosses, lichens, and fungi, and their tangled roots create nesting havens for otters and shelter for fish and aquatic invertebrates. The tree's ability to improve soil fertility makes it a natural choice for restoring industrial wasteland and controlling floods. In short, alder is a living river engineer feeding wildlife, fixing nitrogen, and holding banks together. Number 5. Olive, the carbon sink. The olive tree, Olea europea, is best known for its fruit and oil, but its ecological engineering is even more remarkable. This Mediterranean ancient develops an extensive root system that binds the soil, helping maintain organic carbon levels and promoting long-term storage. Studies show olive groves can sequester over 2 tons of carbon per hectare each year, more than many modern crops, while also buffering landscapes against erosion and retaining water in drought-prone regions. Olive roots knit hillsides together, slowing runoff and recovering quickly after wildfires. Beyond the soil, olive groves offer shelter and forage for birds and mammals among their gnarled trunks and evergreen leaves. It's no wonder ancient civilizations revered the olive. It anchors soil, stores carbon, and provides food and oil for wildlife and people alike. Number 6. Willow, the waterside weaver. Willows, Salix species, are masters of wetland engineering. Their fibrous roots spread laterally along rivers and streams, stabilizing banks and preventing erosion. As pioneers of seasonally flooded or disturbed sites, willows colonize mudflats and gravel bars, soaking up nutrients and anchoring sediments. This bank-stabilizing ability makes them invaluable in reclamation of mines and quarries. Willows also support a staggering diversity of life. Beavers harvest their stems for lodges and food. More than 200 species of sawflies and gall midges use willow as a host, and their shrubby thickets provide cover and nesting sites for countless birds. Even their exposed roots underwater shelter fish and aquatic invertebrates. In the landscape, planting willows is like hiring a living crew of soil engineers and wildlife caretakers. Number 7. Yew, the evergreen refuge. The yew, Taxus baccata, is often associated with churchyards and mythology, but its ecological value is tangible. Dense evergreen foliage forms impenetrable hedges that offer safe nesting and roosting sites for thrushes, blackbirds, and other birds. In autumn, the yew's red arils, fleshy cups surrounding the seeds are relished by birds such as blackbirds, missel thrushes, and song thrushes, as well as small mammals like squirrels and dormice, which spread the seeds. The leaves feed the caterpillars of the satin beauty moth. Yews can live for thousands of years, persisting as green sanctuaries through human history. They anchor soil with their deep roots, slow rainwater runoff, and provide year-round shelter in otherwise bare landscapes. For wildlife seeking refuge in winter's leanest months, the ancient yew is a lifesaver. Number 8. Catalpa, the bee beacon. Catalpa trees, particularly the northern catalpa, Catalpa speciosa, Cineona, are easily recognized by their huge heart-shaped leaves and dangling seed pods. What many people overlook is their value to pollinators. Catalpa produces large clusters of trumpet-shaped flowers loaded with nectar that bees adore. A single tree in bloom becomes a buzzing beacon, drawing honeybees and native pollinators from far around. When planted in windbreaks or along farm edges, Catalpa's blossoms provide supplemental food during times when few other trees are flowering. The broad leaves cast cooling shade over soils, reducing evaporation, and the tree tolerates wet or compacted soils, making it a useful pioneer on difficult sites. Catalpa may not be ancient on the evolutionary tree, but it plays a timeless role as a nectar source and soil protector. Number 9. Linden, the honey factory. Lindens or basswood trees, Tilia species, are revered by beekeepers for a good reason. Their late spring flowers drip with nectar and pollen that honeybees convert into a prized, light-colored honey with hints of mint and green apple. A mature linden in full bloom can support thousands of bees in a single day. As windbreak trees, lindens do double duty. Rows of linden reduce wind speeds, moderate soil and air temperatures, and increase soil moisture by reducing evaporation and trapping snow. Those windbreaks also cut down soil erosion and protect fruit crops from damage. In wetter areas, American basswood thrives, its broad canopy shading understory plants and keeping soils cool. By feeding pollinators and protecting soil, lindens earn their place in the pantheon of ecological workhorses. Number 10. Black locust, the soil builder. Black locust, Robinia pseudoacacia, has a controversial reputation because of its rapid growth. But when managed thoughtfully, this nitrogen-fixing legume can transform degraded ground. Its roots host symbiotic bacteria that capture atmospheric nitrogen, adding fertility to soils and boosting neighboring crops. Black locust grows 3 to 4 feet in a season, quickly forming windbreaks and shelter belts that shade livestock in silvopasture systems. Its leaves are as nutritious as alfalfa, providing fodder for ruminants, while its fragrant white flowers are an important nectar source for honeybees. Hungary's famed acacia, honey is made from black locust blossoms. Farmers have interplanted black locust with barley and black walnut to nurse them to maturity. Planted on poor soils, the tree improves fertility, creates animal fodder, and provides rot-resistant wood, making it a true soil builder. Number 11. Cedar, the evergreen fortress. Cedars, including the eastern red cedar and Lebanon cedar, are not only aromatic icons, but ecological fortresses. Their dense evergreen foliage offers year-round shelter and nesting sites for birds, and their blue-purple berries feed cedar waxwings and other frugivores. Thick boughs create warm microclimates beneath them, where shade-loving plants and fungi thrive, and their deep, extensive roots anchor slopes, prevent soil erosion, and safeguard water quality. By stabilizing soil and providing food and cover, cedars create layered habitats that support insects, birds, and small mammals even during winter. They are the quiet guardians of hillside and hedgerow, turning barren ground into wildlife havens. Number 12. Bristlecone pine, the timekeeper. The Great Basin bristlecone pine, Pinus longeva, is one of the oldest non-clonal organisms on Earth. Growing at high elevations on harsh limestone ridges, these gnarled ancients survive extreme cold, fierce winds, and thin soil. Their incredibly slow growth produces dense wood that resists insects, fungi, rot, and even erosion. In places where little else grows, bristlecones hold pockets of soil on rocky slopes, capturing snowmelt and preventing it from sluicing away. Their longevity provides continuity for alpine communities. Seeds carried by birds like Clark's nutcracker occasionally sprout in sheltered spots, and their fallen branches form nurse logs for lichens and hardy herbs. While bristlecones don't support large numbers of animals, they stabilize inhospitable slopes and remind us that soil and life can persist for millennia when anchored by living stone. Number 13. Longleaf pine, the open canopy oasis. Longleaf pine, Pinus palustris, once carpeted the American Southeast and remains one of the continent's most diverse ecosystems. Its wide-spaced needles and tall stature create open sun-dappled forests that support about 100 bird species, dozens of mammals, and nearly 200 reptiles and amphibians. Species such as bobwhite quail, wild turkey, gopher tortoises, and red cockaded woodpeckers thrive here. The open canopy allows sunlight to nurture a rich ground layer of native grasses and flowers, providing food and shelter for pollinators and ground-nesting birds. Longleaf pines are also masters of resilience. They resist hurricanes better than other pines, withstand drought and pests, and store carbon effectively. With careful prescribed burning, longleaf ecosystems maintain healthy underbrush, safeguard soil moisture, and act as natural fire breaks. Restoring longleaf pine isn't just about trees, it's about reviving an entire living community. Number 14, giant sequoia, the mountain monarch. Towering groves of giant sequoia, Sequoia dendron giganteum, create living cathedrals in the Sierra Nevada. These colossal trunks and high canopies harbor unique wildlife. Chickarees, small squirrels, and beetles feed on cone, scales, while western tanagers, Steller's jays, woodpeckers, and spotted owls nest among the branches. The groves provide shelter for mule deer, black bears, bats, lizards, and snakes, and the thick bark and immense size protect the tree from most fires. The sequoia's root system spreads wide rather than deep, entwining with neighboring trees to anchor loose mountain soils and reduce erosion. Over centuries, fallen giants decompose slowly, building deep, spongy forest soils rich in nutrients. A sequoia grove isn't just a collection of trees, it's an entire habitat, home to rare mammals, birds, and insects. Number 15, fig trees, the year-round feast. In tropical forests, fig trees, Ficus species, are keystone providers. Thanks to their pollination partnership with tiny fig wasps, many fig species bear fruit continuously throughout the year. This makes them a critical food source when other fruits are scarce. A global study found that about 1/300 bird and mammal species rely on figs for food, including apes, elephants, rhinos, tapirs, monkeys, and fruit bats. As animals gorge on figs high in the canopy, they disperse seeds far and wide, helping reforest degraded areas and ensuring plant diversity. Even the leaves and bark provide browse for herbivores. By producing abundant, energy-rich fruit and offering shelter in their sprawling limbs, fig trees underpin entire food webs across the tropics. Number 16, banyan, the living city. Among the many figs, the banyan tree, Ficus bengalensis, stands out for its sprawling form. A single banyan can cover acres as aerial roots descend from branches and thicken into additional trunks, creating sheltered chambers beneath its canopy. These structures produce vast crops of figs that sustain birds, fruit bats, primates, and countless other creatures. In turn, those animals disperse seeds of hundreds of plant species, catalyzing forest regeneration. The banyan's network of trunks and roots slows rainfall, traps silt, and builds soil, turning barren ground into fertile woodland. Ancient banyans serve as ecological linchpins, linking fauna and flora across generations and providing cool refuge from tropical sun. To step under a banyan is to enter a living city teeming with life. Number 17, baobab, the water tank. The African baobab, Adansonia, is sometimes called the upside-down tree for its bottle-shaped trunk and branch patterns, but its function is right side up. Baobabs are foundational to dry savanna ecosystems. Their massive trunks store thousands of liters of water, keeping soil moist and moderating microclimates during droughts. Their extensive root systems slow soil erosion and aid nutrient recycling, while the nutrient-dense fruits provide vital food for monkeys, elephants, birds, and bats in the dry season. Even hollow trunks offer shelter and water for animals ranging from birds and lizards to rodents. Bats pollinate the large nocturnal flowers, ensuring fruit set. Without baobabs, vast swathes of African savanna would lose their natural reservoirs and food banks. Number 18, redwood, the canopy world builder. The coast redwood, Sequoia sempervirens, is not just tall, it's a vertical ecosystem. In their high branches, fallen needles, dust, and rainwater accumulate into mats of soil, that support entire communities. Ferns, mosses, lichens, huckleberries, and even small trees grow 200 feet above the ground. These canopy gardens provide food and nesting sites for insects, salamanders, and small mammals, while birds and flying squirrels make their homes in the branches. Redwood's thick bark and extensive root systems stabilize soil, filter water, and provide clean, shaded streams where salmon and steelhead spawn. Forests of redwoods shelter endangered species from mountain lions to marbled murrelets. When you walk among redwoods, you're actually walking beneath layered worlds stacked skyward, each sustaining life and building soil in the clouds. Number 19. Mangroves, the coastal guardians. Mangrove trees aren't one species, but a guild of salt-tolerant trees and shrubs that line tropical coasts. Their tangled root systems absorb wave energy, allowing sand and silt to accumulate and preventing erosion. The roots hold on to sediments, improving water quality by trapping nutrients that would otherwise cause algal blooms, and they store blue carbon underwater. 1 acre of mangroves can lock away roughly 1,550 pounds of carbon per year. Above the water, mangroves teem with life. Birds nest, roost, and feed in their branches. Ants, spiders, moths, and scorpions inhabit the canopy. Monkeys, snakes, and lizards climb the limbs. Frogs cling to the bark. And crocodiles lurk among submerged roots. Mangroves are nurseries for fish and crabs, and even pollinating bats and fireflies depend on their blossoms. Without these coastal guardians, coastlines erode, fisheries collapse, and wildlife loses an irreplaceable refuge. Number 20. Oak, the biodiversity champion. Saving the best for last, the mighty oak, Quercus species, is perhaps the ultimate supporter of life. Ancient oaks can live for centuries, some over 1,000 years, and during that time, they host more life than any other tree in their native range. A single oak can support about 2,300 different species, with more than 300 depending solely on oaks for survival. Oaks flower in spring, providing nectar and pollen for bees and butterflies. Their acorns feed birds, deer, boar, and even badgers, and their leaves are eaten by hundreds of species of caterpillar, which in turn feed songbirds. Cavities in old trunks shelter bats and owls, while lichens and fungi flourish in the bark's crevices. And oak's extensive roots stabilize soil, draw water and nutrients upward, and help create deep, rich earth as fallen leaves decompose. In temperate forests across the globe, remove the oaks, and an entire tapestry of life unravels. That's why these ancient monarchs top our list. If you're starting to see your landscape as more than a collection of ornamental trees and beginning to appreciate how these ancient species feed wildlife and build soil, smash that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me which tree you're most excited to plant or protect. Are you Team Nitrogen Fixer, Team Canopy World Builder, or Team Biodiversity Champion? I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed to Homestead Roots yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Remember, working with nature's ancient giants isn't just good for wildlife, it's good for your soil, your water, and the generations to come. Plant these trees, protect the old ones, and watch as life returns in abundance.